Terraria's Forest Pylon is pretty much the first pylon we can easily get our grubby hands on.
But the much more important question is how to decorate the Forest Pylon. I had this crazy and wild idea to enhance the Forest Pylon, and that is with a forest. Well, an actual forest. Because Terraria's forest biome has one essential problem. It doesn't look like a forest. A big reason for this is the lack of depth and missing trees, plants and shrubs in the background. When you look at an actual forest, you will see a lot of different dimensions, whether that is trees in the distance, shrubs at the ground or similar elements that naturally decorate the surroundings. With this guide, we are going to address and fix this at a cozy rustic shack and talk about all possible NPC combinations to make the pylon work. The good news is that almost all of this can be built right ahead, even before you defeat your first boss, and improved or extended almost endlessly. I know it sounds weird, but we start actually not by adding, but removing some trees. This gives us enough space to add a little dirt cave. The shape is totally up to you. The only 2 points that matter here is 1. It has enough space for 2 NPCs, and 2. We need to meet the conditions for trees to grow on top, where we replant trees with acorns. Those conditions are simple. There must be a tile of grass to the immediate left and immediate right of the grass block where the sapling is planted on, and no walls behind the sapling until the tree is fully grown. Additionally, trees need 3 blocks in between of each other to be able to grow. When our little dirt cave is done, we use grass seeds on top and inside of the cave itself. This allows vines to grow over time to give it a more overgrown look. We plant acorns on our cave and wait for them to grow. The time it takes them to grow can be used to get started with the basics. A quick note here, you could also use fertilizer once you have bones and poo. To start to make our forest biome look like an actual forest, we grab living wood wall and place them randomly in between of the trees. You can craft living wood walls on a living loom with normal wood blocks. The living loom is an almost guaranteed find within the roots of living trees. When we placed a fair amount of tree trunks, it's time for leaves. For this we grab a leaf wand, which is also commonly found in living trees, and simply add them on top of the trunks. Whether you want a freestyle shape or recreate the classic vanilla shape is up to you. To add even more depth to our growing cozy forest, we repeat the exact same process, but this time we paint the trunks black and use grass walls for the leaves. This adds even more dimension, and it's all done with not even a handful of materials. We used a total of just 3 different materials and 1 color and already greatly improved on the depth on our forest. This serves as a basic layout from where we improve the bark, leaves and shape over time. The next step, however, takes care about nature's clutter. One simple addition is by placing grass or leaf walls at the ground wildly to give our forest more density. Keep in mind that certain flowers and shrubs can't be placed when there's a wall in the background. You can either remove and replace them later for flowers and shrubs, or place them beforehand. I sprinkled a mix of blueberry shrubs, strange plants, skyflowers, wildflowers and shrooms into our forest to make it more colorful and dense. But overall, this leaves a lot of room for creativity and imagination. You could also make use of the rubble maker later in hard mode when the goblin starts selling it. Before we add wildlife and improve our trees a little more, we hammer some edges here and there and slowly get our NPCs ready to settle down in order to place our pylon. We start with the background walls first. Whether you use dirt walls or stone walls is up to you. Some of my recommendations are jungle walls, which you can craft with seeds at the workbench, like the Legion stone wall, for example. We use this as a base to build on and improve from there. But we can use any wall, even wood or brick walls, and replace or change them later as we progress. Moving forward, we surround the upper and lower sides with any wood wall and eventually paint them brown. As usual, you can use and try a variety of walls until you find the material you like. With this finished, we sprinkle in some wood blocks. I like to leave some grass blocks on the upper side to give it a more rustic look and make vines able to grow. We also prepare the spots for doors and eventually improve some corners by hammering them. Now place the doors and choose your decorations. The living loom is a great early and late game crafting station that provides a plethora of different decorations, all thematically fitting for our cozy forest. We go with living loom furniture, like a bookcase, tables, chairs and books from the dungeon. The space in between the furniture is a good spot for beams. How we decorate is our freedom and up to taste. You could place a cauldron with a bubble machine and echo paint it. Add placeable potions or whatever you feel like. I think decorating tiny rustic shacks like this is always a fun thing to do and getting creative with the items you have at your disposal. For the ground, we can add a bigger variety by placing sand blocks, stone, or any other block that connects with dirt blocks, and paint it brown. One early achievable addition is the use of brown painted sand. Do this however you like, and then we move on to the pylon and some extended building tips. You can of course place the pylon inside of the check when you feel like it would fit. What I like to do is simply placing the pylon on an elevated spot with platforms, then use echo paint so all we see is a floating crystal in our forest. Technically, our forest is already good to go. However, there's quite a good amount of advanced building tricks I highly recommend doing when you have the materials at your hand. The first trick is to improve our trees by adding tiny bird holes. This time we use the mahogany vent. We hammer the wood to leave out a little pocket in the center, where we paint the wall behind it black and the wood brown. Place the wood on the background and our bird hole is finished. Additionally, we can use some grass walls on the tree side for more density. However, if we really want to bring our leaves to the next level, we grab a bunch of blueberry shrubs. With solid leaf blocks we carefully make a pattern. This serves as a base for which the shrubs will be placed on. You can paint the blueberries or leave them like this, so it looks like a plum tree. You can also do this with strange plants instead, or mix them all up. This can be quite a lot of work, but creates totally unique and wonderful trees of all kinds and shape, if you have the dedication to do so. However, it's totally optional. Now, if we really want to give our forest a last touch, we can add wildlife with a little trick, so every time you pass by, some animals may show up. We start by placing 2 platforms on spots where they don't hinder our movement and eventually make sense. A bird statue right next to our bird hole, for example. Place the statue above, connect it with a wire and a pressure plate and paint it with echo paint. Every time we pass by, a cute little bird will show up. Kinda like Disney, isn't it? We can repeat this with a good handful of different statues, such as parrots, owls and much more, to turn our cozy Disney forest into the home of different animals. However, to purchase and place our pylon we don't need just a happy little forest, but also happy little NPCs. We achieve this by combining 2 NPCs within the check. I made a simple graphic to display all possible combinations in order to get the requirements. Something to go along with the merchant is a solid early game choice, but it's totally up to you and to your other pylons. And well, the razor empty forest biome transformed over time with just a few little tricks into something we can actually call a forest, with everything that it needs. I hope you enjoyed watching and got some inspiration on the road. If you want to see more tutorials, subscribe to my channel and comment with even more ideas. Stay healthy and see you next time.